My dream is to have one comment under this video from a person who I don't really know.
We actually did really well because our target was 50, which is, again, in the industry is a pretty high number, I would say. We managed to get done 26 by half a day, which is incredible because I had to build my own set. By the way, in many occasions when you are in the studio, you arrive and there is a new client, the set is not up. The day before they cannot really prepare it because they shoot until very late. So normally they break down the set, and the next morning you have to prepare everything before the client comes on set. I worked in studios where all the photographers had to prepare their set. I worked in studios where it was always the assistants who prepared the set. It just depends on the situation, client, budget, and the studio itself. I also do believe that some photographers prefer to do the final check, make sure everything is okay. In my case, I arrived in the morning and I do prefer to start working on my set so I can be done as soon as possible. The last thing I can handle mentally is when the client is sitting next to me. I'm still building my set. Basically, I'm not ready to shoot, and the client is, well, obviously they are patient, but at the same time, everyone is asking, why are we not starting yet? And that's just not something I really like. So I normally try to arrive in the studio way earlier than I'm supposed to and start building my set as soon as possible. And as soon as people arrive, other photographers or the studio assistants, I ask for their support because there are just some things I cannot do alone, and then we finish the set together. So that's what happened today. I managed to build up the set. We started shooting actually in time. I would say I was building the set for around 40 minutes. And once we finished building it, we started shooting straight away. The hair and makeup was done. We were shooting 2 guys today on 2 different sets. They're really nice, really easygoing. My dude was from Amsterdam. Before lunch, we finished more than half, which is actually really good. And basically, our estimate was to finish around 3 p.m., which was insane. Like shooting 50, keeping good quality is really good job. However, I realized that when you're shooting pretty fast and pretty intense, it is really hard to generate that kind of vibe on set and that kind of mood. And I wanted to take more videos, but it just, I don't know, it didn't really feel like that. There are sometimes I would say there is just not that kind of vibe in the studio because everyone wants to finish. I think this Friday was a bit like that, like everyone wanted to go home. So we ended up finishing our set. We wrapped it up, we said goodbye, and I went to the other studio because on Monday I'm shooting a different client in a different position when I'm going to be DJing, and I had to prepare a bit because this is the NDA client. When I had to sign a contract not to show any kind of pictures, clothes on set, I'm going to be shooting with them again, and I'm going to be the DJ who's controlling the computer. The client is going to be present. It's going to be much easier for me to talk and understand what the client wants. how they want to have the looks. And I'm actually really happy about that, because one thing about photography, especially when you're shooting e-commerce, easy thing is when that's actually such an interesting part. You would expect it the other way around, but when you're shooting and everything is certain, meaning that the rules are set, the client tells you exactly what you should be doing, it's much easier to shoot compared to when the client tells you that you're free to shoot. Reason being is that at the beginning it's just way much harder to figure out what the client wants. Even if it's free, your freedom doesn't limit you, but at the end of the day, clients do have expectations. So unless you know your client very well, it's not very likely that you're going to be shooting for the first time exactly what the client wants. It's just much easier to shoot with the rules, so you know exactly what you should be doing. And with this particular client, they are letting us be very free, which is very hard at the beginning. And once you're shooting and once you're aware of the rules, you kind of get the feedback, they look at the PDF and they tell you what is good and what is not. Then you learn what is up, and then you have the freedom. Then you can actually create really nice images. It's just at the beginning is way harder to figure things out. So I do believe that for this particular project, they are going to keep this team together. They are going to teach them what they want. Long term, they're going to work with us, because once we know what they want, we can actually produce what they would like to have on the screen. So this is going to happen on Monday, and I am very excited for it. Again, like I told you before, I really like keeping in touch with the clients. I really like talking to them. I kind of feel like I have the personality when I can feel and understand people. So clients are people just like us. So they want good quality and they want to have fun, and they want to make sure that the job is done in time. And as long as you get the results what they are looking for, they're gonna be happy and you can have on the set as much fun as you want. So you shouldn't be afraid of clients. You should actually just prepare and make sure that you know what they expect you to do. That's it. That's actually my recommendation of the day, and I'm going to be checking out, is that you should really be not afraid of your clients. They are your guide and they want the same thing as you. They want a good job, quality work, and they want to make sure that at the end of the day, you're going to get the results, what everyone is looking for. So don't be afraid. Ask questions, because you don't look stupid. People who ask questions, actually, they prove that they care, and you should be doing that for sure. I do that, and I had clients, and people are happy with my work. So I guess that matters. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Have a nice one.